蒸気文明とわずかな魔法が共存する世界カナダイ。ここには数々の遺跡とさまざまな伝承が残されている。その一つに天空船アークとそれを守る鋼鉄の魔人シンクの伝説がある。アーク、遥か蒼空の彼方に向かう。その中には古代文明の残した莫大な財宝と英知が眠ると言われる天かける箱古文書にいる。アークを手に入れし者世界の王となる。
羽ばたくよ憧れが Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is Random Gamer Riven and welcome to the start of another week's randomised gaming weekday streams. So yes, I thought I would pick Panzer Bandit today. Oddly enough, it's only because I saw people talking about it on Twitter. I thought, yeah, why not, we don't. I covered this, we did a video of this on the channel some time back now. In fact, I think a good year or two back. In fact, it's been a few years back now. Just adjust the mic there a sec. And I thought, why not, let's actually play this for the stream today. So it's Panzer Bandit, was released in 1997. It was released on the PlayStation 1. It was published by Banpresto and it was developed by a company known as Phil in Café, who also did the Asuka Burning franchise and a few other quite good games. Unfortunately, Phil in Café went bankrupt about a year after Panzer Bandit released, so they never did a sequel. And I did wonder whether they were going to port it to the Saturn at some stage, but that never materialised either. It looks like a game that should have been on the Sega Saturn. But here we are with it, the original game as it was. So it's a scrolling beat up very much in the vein of Guardian Hero. There are a couple of modes. I'm just going to jump straight into the single player. There are 4 characters you can choose from, but you can unlock just about every character going in the game. And unfortunately, this is one of those games. So I've got the main dude, I've got the big guy, I've got the little girl, and I've got the slightly taller girl. Each of them has slightly different abilities and perks. I'm actually going to pick the big guy this time round. I think his name's Ein or I. So that's A. I think it's Ain. She said Ein. I do have some understanding of Japanese. I think it's AIN, those 3 characters.
最近各地で発掘された謎のタブレットがどうやらアークに関係しているらしい。いずれゴールデン財団の連中も嗅ぎつけるだろう。連中のことだ。アークに関係しているとなれば手段を選ぶまい。奴らの手からタブレットを守ってくれ。発掘されたタブレットの一つが火山の町にあるらしい。ゴールデン財団の連中がタブレットの行方を追って火山の町に乗り込んできたという情報だ。奴らにタブレットを渡してはならん。頼むぞ。
Now this is one game I would actually like to do a proper playthrough now. I just have one issue that I need to work around. I'm playing this on a PAL modded PS1 and unfortunately Panzer Bandit is one of a number of games that has some form of PAL code on the actual game, and as a result the game runs in 50 Hz on a PAL modded PS2 unfortunately. So what you're seeing is not the true 60 Hz experience, and until I can get that rectified I won't be videoing this properly. But it's okay for a live stream. But yeah, I've had to stretch. You guys get the stretch stream. I mean, in theory I could correct it with some nifty editing, video editing, but it's far from ideal, speeding up the game and everything. But you're wondering why the game's running a little bit slower than it should be, that's why. I think quite a lot of these games that had that issue on the PS2 had some form of PAL coding on them in the hope that they would get released in PAL, and unfortunately a lot of them didn't, sadly. Unfortunately, we originally actually had a Japanese PS2, but that broke, and that broke in a way that is basically unrepairable, so we got a PAL modded one instead, and we found there were a few caveats with it. So maybe just have to buy another NTSC one that's modded. Not PS2s are that expensive, truth be told. It's really actually a poor design on behalf of a lot of the mod chips for PS2. It's really, they should force 5060, have an option to properly force it, but they don't. So each character in this has an absolute huge array of moves for scrolling beat 'em up, so you have lots of... See, this guy's the big strong one, so it's slightly slower, but you have a raft of high quality attacks. And there's the boss dropping in. Just actually dig out the manual just to check what my characters... I've got all the moves here. Does it list all the moves already? Just checking it. Oh no, it does. Double tap. It actually is I miss the old manuals we used to get. Like this, actually got pages on each of the various boss characters and villains and player characters with lovely full colour artwork as well to accompany them. Something you do not get in modern games. Hi there! Tornavas, yes, thank you for joining the stream, and yes, this is Panzer Bandit, an absolute fantastic scrolling beat 'em up on the PS1. Yeah, there's lots of great characters in this. Yeah, there's 4 default playable characters. I believe they said you can unlock all the bosses, so although I haven't actually unlocked all the bosses, that's something I actually need to go around and do. I guiltily have to admit, despite owning this for a while now, I haven't actually finished it. Some great music in this as well, just to keep... All the characters have a huge selection of moves as well, so it makes it very, very playable. Which is one of the things I liked this over some of the other scrolling beat-ups. So, take, what was the one we looked at on the Saturn again? Hot Blooded Family. That had quite a limited move selection for all the characters. This gives you a lot more moves, and you get a lot more playable characters and unlocks. And both of them were PS1 games as well. In fact, although I was showing the Saturn's version of Nekio Ketsu. It was actually first released on the PS1. Playing a bit cautiously as I'm a bit low on health at the end of this fight. Oh! Oh! That's not a good start to this video. Okay, I'll pick Cole, the main character I played before, so I'm a bit familiar with him. And I'll pick a different starting stage, seeing as we did that last one, so... through this. Visually, this is a very impressive 2D1. Again, the music, as you can hear, very much suits the game, so... I think a lot of people compare this with Guardian Heroes. That's a fair comparison, but of course this is nowhere near as good as Guardian Heroes. It's still a well-made game, but it just lacks the content Guardian Heroes had with all the different routes and everything. I think the trouble with the robot is he was a bit slow. Usually I play it. So you've got fireballs as well. All the characters have a huge selection to move, so you have a big repertoire, which is something a lot of scrolling beat-em-ups don't have, so you get a much better fighting. In fact, it's Phil and Café, as I mentioned, did the Suka Burning Fist series, and that clearly the fact that they were used to making one-on-one fighters with lots of move shows in this, because this has the moves that you would expect in a one-on-one fight. In fact, I believe this has a verse mode as well, so... That's right, he's got the robot to help him as well. He can turn into a blade as well, the robot, and dive at them. Panzer Bandit certainly has a lot of character, something a lot of scrolling beat-em-ups do lack. You've got a great... I mean, the art style is very simplistic, but with the character, certainly the enemy character designs, but it works. They have that sort of treasure. This does have a Treasure SQS feel about it, so I'm not sure whether some ex-Treasure staff actually worked on this one. There were some nice tricks before. I mean, I believe this is actually a pseudo. A lot of the PS1 games aren't actually 2D. They're 3D games with 2D effectively jammed in. As the PS1 is weirdly a console that couldn't properly do 2D. Hello, Osuyo Uben. Thanks for watching us here at Randomizer Gaming, and welcome to the stream. Okay, we've got a big guy with a sword. And one of the things with this is this really is a combo heavy scrolling beat 'em up, so okay, this guy is one tough fighter as well. I don't remember when playing the PS1 in Japan that circle was accept and cross was back out. One of Sony's slightly bizarre changes they didn't need to make. I don't know why they would change it the other way around, because circle of course means confirm. So I don't know why Sony changed it to the Western thing. It was a weird one. I've got to actually get around to unlocking the bosses at some point in this one. Okay, let's do the pirate stage.
メラクの底から見つかったタブレットを狙って戦艦まで繰り出したという準備。奴らにタブレットを渡してはならん。頼むぞ。
This game actually has some really great air juggling, as you see there. Probably more better than actually Guardian Heroes, as you can almost literally keep enemies in the air for the whole time. Especially actually while still remaining in the air. So I believe this is on to the next boss fight in a sec. Yes, she is very nasty with that fan, I have to admit. It's actually that crusher attack. She's largely just avoid most of her attacks by dodging, but it's the she's got that flame attack that does like about a quarter of your health bar. That's the one I probably need to watch. Should really do my fireball more. I could cheese this and just do the robot summoning all the time, but that kind of kills the fun of it. If I just cheese the fight.
タブレットの一つがラグー鉱山にあるらしい。ゴールデン財団の一味が鉱山に押し入ったそうだ。奴らにタブレットを渡してはならん。頼むぞ。
But I must admit, this and Tragedy Showtime, probably two of my favourite of the scrolling beat-em ups. Although Tragedy Showdown is not quite a true scrolling beat-em up, but Tragedy Showtime is a really good game. So this scene actually makes a really good use of the lanes. As you see there, you'll get the mine carts toing and throwing. So yes, in this stage the fireball comes in very handy with the rain, with those trains. Okay, let's work on that side. Let's deal with these standard guys first. also one of those fighting games you definitely have to concentrate on, so I'm not quite as chatty as I normally am. It's a real shame this didn't actually get a Western release. I think the game, based on the fact it can force into PAL, I think Phil in Cash may well have hoped it might have done, but obviously it never did. Because it seems the ideal type of game, and it's styled very much, when you look at something a game like Gunstar Heroes, it has all the marks of a game you would expect to get a Western release. Yeah, it would be nice to see a translation. I'm not a huge fan ones. I much prefer official translations because, having worked in the industry, I know fan translations basically do cost revenue. And I'd much rather have the developers get a chance, or those that are responsible who made the game, to be able to translate it and get the relevant Western sales. But yeah, it would be nice to have an official translation and release. Annoyingly, this got a... So even if they just released the Japanese version in the Western, I would be happy enough. Because it's not a game that really has a huge amount of story. You don't need to know the story that much to play it. You just need to know it's a scrolling beat-em-up. And this did get a Japanese PS3 release, but this did not get a Western one, so it was released on the digital store in Japan, PSP and PS3, but since then we've not heard anything, although the game is now actually rights holded by, strange enough, Namco Bandai, because they bought up Banpresto, and they now control the rights to this. So maybe if anyone from Bandai Namco starts watching this stream at some point, it'd be nice to see this get released. See if I can beat this boss without losing. Yeah, basically the thing you got to watch with the bosses is they all have a special attack. Once they unleash that special, that's when you take damage. But if you... But there's some it really is a great combo system in this and scrolling beats and that. Come on. I'm going to be a bit cheeky and see if I just want to get a void out. See, those are the specials you've got to avoid. Yeah, I didn't take too much damage there, but you do got to watch. The Pirate Girl had a very nasty special where she did a lot of damage. Right, let's choose that. Got him. But it'd be just nice if Namco Bandai, or Bandai Namco, I should say these days, because I don't think I think Bandai really were the bigger part of the partnership, so they wanted their name front and centre. I think we nearly had Bandai Sega at one stage. Yeah, I've already beaten the Pirate Girl. It's just that you've got to redo the first boss again, seeing as I failed at him last time. So yeah, I've not actually seen the other boss characters, but I do know the cheat sites listed them all as playable, so just to confirm, my character is... There's actually all the names in the manual. Yeah, Cole. K-O-H-L. Yeah, Cole. We have Kazumi, who's the taller girl, the player character. Mayu, M-I-U, is the other smaller female girl. Ein, E-I-N, is the robot. Then the bosses are, we have Jin Shiden and his robot Shiden. This boss is Gustav Jingoru. Jingo was the guy with the sword. Senka Mudo is the pirate girl. And the boss I just... she was Senka Mudo is the boss I just fought. So that means this is Gustav. Yeah, so this is Gustav. The pirate girl, as mentioned, was Senka. That's the blue-haired pirate girl. You definitely know you can play as all of them because I've seen a few videos as well. So this is Colt. I mean, it is actually really... The only thing I'd say as a slight negative, unlike Guardian Heroes, it doesn't have a level up system, but it's probably not entirely fair to compare this to Guardian Heroes, seeing as Guardian Heroes really is the pinnacle, one of the pinnacles of scrolling beat 'em up. It and Dungeons and Dragons. No, the pirate girl was the boss of stage 3. The one with the cat is Kasumi. She's the one with the robo kitty cat. And then I haven't actually played as Kasumi yet. Or Miyu is the other female character. So we'll see how far I get, and I'll swap to the other player characters within the time limit. I need to remember that for future knowledge. Down, down, and X does that move, and down, down, and circle does his blade text. Just up, up, do anything. Just pressing circle and... Because Cole's buddy really does help in some of the fights. See if I can... Oh, you have to be on the ground. I was hoping you could kind of launch that, but if I just launched that there. So yeah, we'll start with that. I'll do blade pull. The pacing of the stages in this is actually very, very good because each of the stages do have their own enemies. So this stage has got like the chopper enemies, which weren't so far in any other stage. So the only stages are really well paced, and it does keep the pace up. The levels aren't too long, but they're long enough to give you a challenge. So they're sort of like the perfect length. Often getting levels right in game is a key factor to keeping the player's enjoyment. The player wants to be challenged. At the same time, levels shouldn't be overly long so the player becomes bored along the way. Case in point, I was just actually having another go on Mega Man 11 earlier. I've been on and off playing that for the past year. I say on and off, more off than on, but basically I found Mega Man 11 to be probably one of the worst Mega Mans in terms of level design because the stages are way too long. Clearly, the studio at Capcom, who I can only assume Capcom farmed it out to some developer, didn't have a first clue about Mega Man games because the stages are overly long and have too many instant death moments, and it just feels like they aimed for the myth of that Mega Man games are exceptionally hard when they weren't. They were actually some of the easiest games known on the NES and SNES, to put it mildly. I think Panzer Bandit is one of those games that I do think just got lost in the 32-bit era. It may well have been another game that suffered from the whole 3D craze going on at the time, which I think affected a lot of games. Ironically, the 3D games have aged very badly, and the 3D games, of course, from that era are now hugely popular. Only really the games that were either stylized or were sort of the pinnacle of the time have just about made it through. I mean, even games like Metal Gear now look and play very dated, but there's still some charm to playing games like that, and Final Fantasy as well. The Final Fantasy, the gameplay holds up, even if the 3D doesn't. Okay, let's see if I get. I do love the combo system in this. Is really great with the air juggles. It does feel. I mean, as Phil in Café did this and mentioned, did do quite a few one-on-one fights, and there are parts of the fighting system in this where it does feel more like one-on-one fighter. The fact you can chain so many hits together isn't necessarily something you could normally do in a scrolling beat 'em up. Often the combos were very preset, where you normally had some sort of finishing. This game doesn't have that type of preset combo where you usually had some sort of launcher at the end where you throw the enemies. This does allow you to really create your own combos to fight the various enemies. And 11 hits there, that's really, really nice. It's rare a scrolling beat would let you do 11 hit combo. Usually they'd let you do about 4 or 5 hit max. And then cheese him a bit because got him. Here's the so that was Gustav complaining, and here's the pirate girl Zenka, Senka. Obviously, she's complaining about the fact Gustav has been beaten. And the opening intro does show you the sort of mad scientist main villain as well. There's also a mad robot called Zweel as well.
ご苦労だったな。さあ、タブレットをこちらに渡してもらおうか。
So here we go with the main couple of villains. Obviously we have, just so you know, we have Jin in the background. He's the one in the green suit. Now, the Doctor's name is not in English, it's Doctor something. I'm not entirely sure what that is. And the robot holding your character, so the good guy, I think he's also, no, he's an enemy of the other Doctor. Or no, is he a Doctor as well? No, he's an enemy, and we have Zweel, the robot. He has a very maniacal laugh, I think is the word to phrase with that. Ha ha ha. Right, I'll probably finish the stream at the end of this level, but I think that's probably a good time to sort of end the stream. We'll see how far I get on this stage. The enemies actually remind me, because they do have a bit of the Gunstar heroes, they also remind me a lot of the slightly weird enemies from the other treasure game that is trying to think. Is it Mischief Hunters on the N64? I can't believe the name's escaping me. I will dig it out of my cupboard in a second. See if I can find it. Mischief Makers, that's it. Get a nice little 11-6s. I really do like the combat system. It's so fluid. It's just not something you normally see in a scrolling beat 'em up. So you just rush them with just everything going. They do have a sort of, once they hit a sort of like dead drop status where when they fall to the ground you then can't hit them. But that's kind of what you need in any sort of good scrolling beat 'em up and franchise. You need something like that where you literally have some sort of dead drop system where you shouldn't be able to take damage. So we've got him, yep. Okay, this is Wheel the robot. So this. Oh, come on, what was 17 hits? Yes. I mean, yeah, the combat system is really good in this. Lots of some nice parallax scrolling, not really parallax scrolling, but some nice layering going on with this background with the fact you're down, the elevator's going down. It's probably actually the easiest boss fight I've had to fight so far. Now, is this going to be the stage end, or have we got something else afterwards? Yeah, I didn't think that was the end of the stage. That was way too easy for a boss fight. Hi Ryu Bateson, thanks for joining the stream here at Randomised Gaming. Although I will actually be finishing in the not too distant future, I'm just going to finish off the stage. So this, of course, is Panzer Bandit on the PlayStation 1, released in 1997. Developed by Phil Incaf, which is always quite a funny name for a developer studio, Phil Incaf, and it was published by Banpresto, who are now owned by Bandai Namco. And you can actually get this if you've got a Japanese account on PlayStation. You can get this for the PlayStation 3, PSP, and I assume it works on Vita as well, but only if you've got a Japanese account to download. I don't know, the scrolling beat maps are definitely popular on the stream, so you guys obviously like... I should actually do a full playthrough. We do have a video already on this channel, but it's an old one using the old scaler. It wasn't with the open source scan converter, but it was using our old NTSC PS2, and as I mentioned at the start of this video, the problem with this modded power one is this is, although you can't see it, it's actually running at 50 Hz, which hugely annoys me. So I need to find a way either to edit around it or find a way to get it running at 60 Hz. The design of this robot actually reminds me a bit of Nemesis from Resident Evil 3, I have to admit, with that slow, lumbering sort of Frankenstein pose. Okay, yeah, we've got one credit left, let's finish him. So I do love the combo system in this, it's so free-flowing, which is rare to have in a scrolling beat 'em up. "17 combo hit earlier, which was really nice to get. Okay, he's a goner. And I'll be finishing this stream once he goes bye-bye. I actually need to go through this at some stage and unlock all the characters in Panzer Bandit, as you can unlock just about all the bosses as playable characters. So this game does actually have quite a good lot of replay value. I realise it's quite an expensive title to buy now, unfortunately. This stage is quite cool, battling on top of some sort of what appears to be gunner fortress or something. The stage design in this is really quite nice. It's simple, but it's got enough detail that it doesn't get in the way of the actual fighting, but each stage does feel different enough from one another. I've recently been playing Streets of Rage 4, which has been okay, perhaps not as good as what some people are making out. It's a bit of a backward step over Streets of Rage 3, unfortunately, Streets of Rage 4. But one I have been playing relatively recently again is Fighting Range. Again, we've got a video of that on the channel, and that's a really good PS4 game, Fighting Range, if you want a sort of modern scrolling beat 'em up. Streets of Rage 4 isn't bad. If you want just a modern scrolling beat 'em up, Streets of Rage 4 is good, but I think I prefer Fighting Rage on the PS4. There's also the rather dark, menacing Mother Russia Bleeds as well. And there was Knights of Valor, which was an online game, but that's actually closing in the next month, so unfortunately. But we may have a video of that on the channel, but we need to sort a few things out before we can actually video that. We're going to video it regardless, but there's a few things we need to look at. But yeah, so if you want something on scrolling beat on the PS4, Fighting Rage, Streets of Rage 4, and there's quite a lot of the SNK arcade games like Mutant Nation and the Shengorkis and a few other sort of cult SNK scrolling beat 'em ups. And you can get of course the Double Dragon 1 and 2 as well on PS4. So if you fancy playing a scrolling beat 'em up, you face a risk yourself after this stream. There are a huge number on PS4. It's just a shame this one isn't available on PS4. Okay, I'm going to pause it there, ladies and gentlemen. That's where I'm going to end the stream. I won't finish this level. I'll save that for another time and another video, I feel. So, just leave me to say that has been Panzer Bandit on the PlayStation 1. Highly recommend it. I have been your host, Random Gamer Riven, so I'm going to wish you a good night, a good evening, a good morning, or a good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. And I will see you all in tomorrow's stream, which I haven't quite decided what it will be yet. I'm going to probably mix this week, will probably be a mix of PS1 and PS2 games. Could do Radgety Showtime, but I don't really want to do scrolling beat 'em ups back to back. But as always, I will grab something and we will be streaming something tomorrow. So I will see you all tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen. Have a good night.